Sarah Foster always arranged her book club with meticulous care. She made lemon bars, fluffed the couch pillows, and brewed her signature chamomile tea, the aroma drifting through her pristine suburban home. The other neighborhood wives admired her, smart, stylish, always in control. But beneath the cheerful suburban veneer lingered an unspoken tension, invisible fissures widening with every gathering. That Thursday, their fifth meeting, was meant to be routine. The book selection was a thriller, its plot twisted with unreliable narrators and suspicious deaths. They discussed the characters first, each woman chiming in with observations, laughter, quiet judgment. But as the discussion grew, so did Sarah's agitation. Someone, always, had more insightful comments, a better story, a sharper quip. She went to the kitchen, hands trembling over teacups. Through the open doorway, she heard whispers, soft at first, then unmistakable. Sarah's name, her parenting, a snide remark about the cleanliness of her baseboards. Mean laughter, not meant for her ears. Her gaze caught their smiling faces in the reflection on the kettle, faces that had always excluded her, never truly her friends. Something deep inside her snapped, then an ember kindling into a flame. She returned with tea steaming in her hands, doling out cups, with a polite smile hiding the storm in her gut. The first cough was brushed off as stray biscuit crumbs, but then a second, then a third. Panic-etched faces, eyes wide in collective terror. They clawed at throats, gasping. Sarah watched silently, her calm a yawning abyss. The screaming didn't last long. The next day, when the police arrived, Sarah was a perfect storm of grief and shock. Her confession poured out in stammering waves. She'd begged them to listen, warned them for weeks about the dark sedan lingering at the end of the block, the strange calls, the hooded figure glimpsed among the hedges at night. No, she hadn't seen his face, but he hated her, she was sure of it. Her phone was missing, hacked, maybe, and strange notes had appeared in her mailbox. She was terrified. Her hands shook as she retold the moments when her friends started coughing, collapsing, begging for air. The stalker had poisoned them, she pleaded. He'd promised to hurt her, to hurt anyone close to her. Neighbors believed her. The official statements circled, mysterious attacker at large, targeted violence in a safe community. But as the headlines faded, a persistent unease crept into the neighborhood. Police patrols increased, but no suspect was ever found. Gardens lay unkempt, porches left dark, children were kept inside. At night, Sarah stood at her window and watched the street, her finger tracing fog on the glass. Sometimes, in the shifting shadows by the mailbox, she imagined she saw him, a hooded man, tall and silent, staring up at her home. Sometimes, he wore the face of a friend, mouth open in a silent scream. At first, she blinked, reassured herself it was only the wind or the play of headlights. But with each night, the figure grew sharper, more persistent, a familiar silhouette who never looked away. Sarah's phone began to ring, always at midnight, the line filled with static, a faint voice whispering her name. Behind her, in the living room, the teapot rattled on its own, cupboard doors slid open, and the television flickered between scenes of that last book club, faces twisted, lips mouthing unspoken blame. Everywhere she looked, someone was always watching, always waiting for her to slip up. Sleep never came. The club's unfinished books piled up on her nightstand, each spine facing outward, watching. The suburban calm became unbearable, weighted with secrets. Sarah began to write her own message notes, slipping them into her mailbox, confessions half-formed, apologies she could never send. And every night, as she turned away from the unblinking darkness, she saw her own terrified reflection in the glass, watched by eyes just beyond the porch light.